Welcome to the Manifest Your Vision Challenge. Turn your cameras on so we can see your radiant and luminous smiling faces because we are embarking on an epic journey to manifest your vision in alignment with your true purpose, in alignment with your unique expression, your unique contribution. And I am inspired to be here with you. Congratulations for showing up. Where's your energy coming into this challenge? Where's your state? Share with me in the chats. How are you feeling? And where are you joining us from in the world? Diane says she's excited. Awesome. Let's get these chats going. Peak State says Melissa. Northern California. Yes. Share with us where you are in the world, because during these 3 days, you're going to be guided through a very powerful, transformative experience to get clear. Who's fired up to get even more clear on what you're intending to create, accomplish, achieve, manifest, to remove blocks and to create outstanding, consistent results? And we have my dear friend, the luminary Michael Bernard Beckwith, joining us as well. So awesome to be with you, Astrid. Good to see you, Harold. Good to be with you, Mark, Keith. In my heart and prayers, Tina, Peggy, everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. So this journey of manifesting our vision is a process, and it is akin to the archetypal hero's journey. Who's heard of the hero's journey before? It is the underlying framework of every epic movie, every epic film, every epic story, every phenomenal piece of literature, body of work. You see, the hero goes through a journey to manifest this vision. And you, my dear friends, are the hero of your own life's journey, embarking on a quest to manifest your vision. Who's fired up about that? How does it feel to be the hero of your journey, embarking on a quest to manifest your vision? So I'm going to share with you, there's 12 stages on this journey of manifesting vision. And I'm going to share with you these 12 stages. And as I share them, I'm going to invite you to share with me in the chats where you feel that you are on these 12 stages, so that you really understand the different, what unfolds during different aspects of this journey of ascension. And it is a journey of ascension. It's a journey from moving from a lower world into a higher world. It's a journey to moving towards your highest aim, the highest aim that is unique to you. Because one of the things that's so important to realize before I go into these 12 steps, 12 stages, is that you have a unique gift. There is no one on the planet like you, not one human on the planet like you. No one has your unique expression. No one has your experiences. No one has your way of shining light into the world. So you have a valuable gift to contribute, to bring into this world. And I'm fired up to support you and give you all the tools and the wisdom that I've invested a lifetime to empower you on this epic journey. Are you ready to go? Tell me in the chats, and if your camera's not yet on, turn on your cameras, because I'm about to go through the 12 stages that you are going to experience on your epic hero's journey to manifesting your vision. So there's 12 stages. The first stage is the ordinary world. You're in the ordinary world. Who feels like they're in the ordinary world and they're being called to something greater? That's stage 2. Stage 2 is you go from the ordinary world to the call to an adventure. Now, the stage 2, which is the call to the adventure, it might be that you're inspired to create something greater. It might be, how many of you are feeling that? Your call to an adventure is that you feel an inspiration to create, to contribute, to give something. Okay, that's awesome. Another way that people feel called to the adventure, which is my story, which I'll share with you in a moment for those of us that are meeting for the first time, sometimes the call to the adventure is because of pain. Who can relate to that? You're in a place that isn't working in your business, in your relationships, in a certain area of your life, in your health and vitality. Something isn't working. Something is crashing down and breaking or burning. Okay? And you feel the call to an adventure to move out of something unwanted into something wanted. Who can relate to that? That's more of your call to the adventure. Okay, so you're going to be in one of two places as we go into the Manifest Your Vision Challenge. You're either going to be in a place where you're clear on your vision and you're like, help me accelerate the manifestation of this. Who's there? You're like, clear on the vision, help me accelerate. And who's in a place where you're like, I know I've got something to contribute, but I'm not crystal clear on what the vision is yet, and I'd like some support. Okay, so either one of those places that you're in, you're going to receive guidance to manifest your vision. And either one of those places, you're going to be going through these 12 steps, okay, or 12 stages. So as we go through these 12 stages, let me bring back my PowerPoint. You're in the ordinary world and you feel the call to an adventure. The call might be a vision. I'm inspired to create this. I'm inspired to bring this into the world. The call to adventure might be pain. I don't want this anymore. I need to move out of this pain. Okay? So either way, whether it's a vision or moving away from pain, you're called to an adventure. That's the second stage. And sometimes what happens often on the hero's journey is there's the refusal of the call. Who's experienced that stage where you're being called to a greater purpose, called to a greater state of being, but there's a part of you that's like, what if I don't have what it takes? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't know how? What if I screw it up? So there's a refusal to the call. There's like an internal moment where you're having to face that internal potential doubt. And then what unfolds on the hero's journey, this is the journey of Luke Skywalker meeting Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. This is the story of Cinderella meeting the fairy godmother. Every hero's journey, you meet the mentor. This is a defining moment because when you meet the mentor, and this is a sacred relationship on your hero's journey to manifesting your vision. And while I'm sharing this with you in a moment, I'm going to share with you how everything I'm teaching you today is backed by neuroscience. This isn't just mythology and archetypal stories that are alive within us. This is neuroscience. So the hero meets the mentor. And as they meet the mentor, they cross the first threshold. Who's had that experience where you've met a mentor and you've crossed a threshold? And by the way, as you evolve, there's always a next level of a hero's journey. So you meet the mentor, you cross the threshold, you start to recognize, I do have the creative power to bring this in through to fruition. And then as you meet the mentor and cross the first threshold, you're tested. There's tests. You meet friends and allies and challengers and things come in. Who's in that stage right now? Where you've crossed the threshold, but you're like navigating some challengers in there and building your allies on your epic hero's journey to manifesting your vision. Well, you go through these tests and challenges, and as you do, you approach the innermost cave. That's the depth of your own being, the depth of your own psyche, the depth of your own essence, who you are. And until we go into the innermost cave, we don't access our true purpose in this life. And it is essential that the vision that you're manifesting is in alignment with your true purpose, because how many times do we see people that achieve results and then they're not fulfilled? Have you ever seen that where somebody achieves these great results and deep down they're not fulfilled? So we got to go into these inner depth to really understand the nature of who we are, what we're here to create, what we're here to bring into this world. And then as we go into the depth of this inner being, we're going to face ordeals. This is facing the dragon. Who can relate to facing the dragons? Sometimes they're external dragons, sometimes they're internal dragons. Sometimes you're navigating these challenges of things in your environment or relationship. Sometimes the dragon is within, the dragon of self-doubt, the dragon of illness, the dragon of disease, the dragon of addiction, right? So people are going to manifest their vision and they're gonna face these dragons. Who knows what I'm talking about? So when you face the dragons, and this is the power of having the mentor with you throughout the entire journey, okay, is that as you're facing these dragons, one of the key things to manifesting your vision is that you have the tools, right? You have the sword, you have the tools, you have the techniques, you have the strategy, you have the mindset, you have the wisdom, because dragons will show up. It's just how the journey to manifesting your vision is. There's no manifesting visions without dragons. It's how it just seems to go in this realm of existence. Does anybody relate to that? So having the tools, the resilience, the mindset, the state of being, the strategies to grapple with the dragon, and through the virtue of the victory in that ordeal, to move into the next stage of the journey, which is the treasure, the reward. And what happens a lot of times for people in manifesting your vision is they want the treasure too soon. They want the treasure without the dragon. They're like, can we please get the treasure without the dragon? Can we please get the treasure without the ordeal? Well, it doesn't work that way. The dragon, which is whatever is the internal or external challenge, is what makes you stronger, what makes you grow. It's what tests your mettle so that you're going through a journey of evolution to manifest your vision. It's not just getting something that you want, it's who you're becoming along the way. So the reward is stage 9. It's seizing the treasure. That's why you'll notice that the dragon always has, in the myths, the dragon always has treasure, right? And the dragon also has the maidens. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Why? It's because when you prove yourself on this journey, and you're really proving it to yourself, this is where you recognize your own worthiness, okay? Your inherent worthiness as you're going through these stages. So we go through the treasure, and then we go to the road back. Now we have the treasure, we have wisdom. We have treasure, we have wisdom. We have new awarenesses. So we begin the journey back. The hero begins the journey back. And that's a challenging journey as well. And as the hero begins the journey back, the hero has integrated a level of resurrection. It is a death of the old self and a rebirth of the new empowered way of being. So in the hero's journey towards manifesting your vision, there is a death of the old pattern, a death of the old beliefs, a death of the old standards, and a rebirth of the new empowered way of leading, of loving, of creating, of existing. That is the resurrection. And in that step, that is where the hero, through the virtue of this journey, has become initiated to become the mentor. Now the hero, that's the final step of the journey, returns with the elixir. And what is the elixir? Returns with the greater wisdom, returns with the greater understanding, returns with the coherent, aligned state of being that represents the embodiment of that vision attained, not just through doing, but through the virtue of being. So my dear friends, all of us together are on this epic hero's journey. And where are you right now? If you were to share, where are you? And you might be in different places of the journey in different parts of your life, a certain place in your business, a certain part in a particular relationship. But this is the journey that you're going to be encountering as you go through. How was that understanding as we set the stage? Give me some feedback in the chats before we go into our next segment. Actually, I'll share a story with you. How many of us are meeting for the first time? If we're meeting for the first time, raise your hands or give me a yes in the chats. I'll share with you a brief story. I see Vanja's raising her hand, a few of us raising our hand. I see a lot of familiar faces who have gotten so much value. They're back for more. Good to see you. Nellie's raising her hand. Awesome. So I'll share with you a little bit about my hero's journey and how, as you go through these stages in the hero's journey, what's actually happening is you are rewiring your brain. So what I just shared with you, which was based on myth, is also neuroscience. As the hero crosses these thresholds and goes through these stages of growth and evolution, the brain is rewiring itself. The nervous system is realigning itself. And here's a slide to show you what I mean by that. So this journey of the hero's journey towards manifesting your vision is as you're going through it consciously, you are activating the power of neuroplasticity, which scientists call your brain's superpower. Okay, who's heard about neuroplasticity before? You could raise your hand. If you're hearing about it for the first time, you could let us know in the chats. So neuroplasticity is the remarkable ability that your brain has to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. So doesn't it make sense that at the beginning of the hero's journey, that brain was wired very differently than when that brain got to the resurrection, okay? And then coming back with the elixir. So neuroplasticity reveals that there's patterns Let's say patterns of self-doubt, worry, overwhelm that have become ingrained in your brain. They're not permanent. In other words, we have the power to rewire our brain. We have the power to bring our entire being into coherence. And that is one of the foundational keys to manifesting your vision. So I'll share with you a very brief, quick example of my own journey, or one of my journeys to manifesting vision, to hero's journey. Here's a picture of me in the early stages. I wrote about this in my book, Supreme Influence. In my book, Supreme Influence, the opening chapter says, I embarked on a quest for freedom, truth, and enlightenment, except back then I called it running away from home at 15. So I was so frustrated with my life. At the time, I really didn't have a vision. What I had was pain and a knowing that I didn't want what was currently showing up. But I knew inside I had a sense that I was destined for more than what was happening. Who's been there or who's there now where you're looking at your life and you're like, this isn't working. I want to manifest something new. Okay. Actually, let me ask that one more time so I can see all the hands. And make sure your videos are on so I can see you. How many of you are in a space of pain and you're catapulting from that pain into a vision? Okay. Who's not so much in a space of pain, but you're more in a space of inspiration? How do we accelerate this thing? Let's manifest already. Okay, awesome. So whichever way you are, you're in the perfect place for the greatest breakthrough. So my story began at 15. I embarked on that quest. And then by the time I was 19 years old, I had the honor of working with this guy named Tony Robbins. Who's familiar with Tony Robbins? He's hard to miss these days, isn't he? So I traveled with Tony for almost 5 years. I was his record-breaking #1 trainer, and I broke every record the company ever had. But I want you to realize that that was a first major breakthrough of manifesting vision. Here's how it started. And as I share with you this story, there's a formula in the story. And the formula has neuroscience. I started visioning myself producing results in my mind in advance before those results had manifested in my reality. So I started producing results in my mind. So when I first started working with Tony Robbins, I was 19 years old. I was young and inexperienced. They used to call me the kid. My job was to go meet with companies and deliver a mini presentation and invite them to go to Tony's big event. But because I was young and inexperienced, I used to get all the appointments nobody else wanted. And one day, opportunity called on my brick-sized cell phone. Who remembers those huge cell phones back then? It was my manager, and he was like, hey, how quickly can you get to Wall Street? Pretty quickly, I said, as I pulled out my Thomas Guide map. Who remembers that we used to find directions with a gargantuous Thomas Guide map? He says to me, there's a meeting on Wall Street. It's been confirmed for weeks. They're expecting our top trainer. He just had an emergency. He's on his way to the airport. All the other trainers are in meetings, and you're our last hope. He said, okay, kid, here's your chance. Are you ready? In that moment, I felt fear, right? I started sweating a bit, but I said, I'm ready. I remember I literally elongated my spine, put my shoulders back, put a smile on my face, and said, I'm ready. He gave me the details, and I started driving down to Wall Street. The whole way there, I started visioning success. That's a big part of manifesting your vision. And as you're visioning success, you're actually wiring your brain to become familiar with that success. So I started visioning myself the whole way there. I started visioning myself walking in and connecting with the leaders. I actually said a mantra in my mind. I said, with faith the size of a mustard seed, I will move mountains. Who's heard of that story? Because you can't have faith and doubt at the same time. So one of the things I did is I started seeing success, speaking success, aligning my physiology, my body. I aligned my state before I was ready. That's a key distinction for manifesting your vision. I accessed the state before I felt that I was ready. And then all of a sudden I got there, I walked in. I remember I went to Wall Street. Who's seen the big bull on Wall Street? I walked around the bull, went up to the penthouse floor, and I met the woman at the desk, and I said, I'm here to see Fred. He was the leader, and she looked at me under her glasses. She's like, do you have an appointment? I said, yes, I'm the trainer scheduled to meet with him and his team. She said, grab a seat. And I could see all the people coming in because they were going into the training room. And all of a sudden, this lady, the receptionist, picks up the phone and says to Fred, Fred, Shirley Temple's here to see you. So can you imagine? I'm like, so out walks Fred. He's this distinguished man on Wall Street, black and white pinstripe suit. He's looking over my shoulder for the trainer. So I walked right up to him. I was 19 years old. I'm like, hi, Fred, I'm your trainer. And he looked at me and he said, are you going to do this by yourself? And I joked with him and I said, I got a green man in my briefcase who helps me out in case I get in trouble, right? Because rapport helps. But he was not amused. He looked at me and he said, listen, kid, 20 minutes max. And he went in that room. And I went into this room at 19 years old and I poured my heart and soul into a presentation that I had created all by myself. And then at the end, I asked the opening question. I'm like, who wants to go to this seminar by show of hands? And it was no hands. And in that moment, I centered myself and I asked again, and the tension was building, and I paused. There's the ordeal, right? On the journey to manifesting your vision, there's the ordeal. I'm in that room, and all of a sudden, there's the ordeal, there's the dragon. So I centered myself. I paused, I inhaled a breath, I placed my hand on my heart, I acknowledged everyone, and I leaned in and I said, please let me share one final story. And in that moment, a miracle happened. Who believes in miracles? Okay. Who's receptive to miracles on the journey of manifesting your vision? You want to be open and receptive. In that moment, a miracle happened. Fred looked at me and he looked at his team and he looked at me and he looked at them and he pointed at me. And he said to them, he said, do you all see this kid? He said, this kid's got balls to come in here and talk to you like this, in his Brooklyn accent. And if this seminar can get this kid to do this, I'm going. And I think every single one of you should go. And if you go, I'll pay for half. When I walked out the door, I was walking side by side with Fred. And we went back to his office and we had created so much connection. By the way, this is the key with your vision is he became an ally, okay? At first, he was a challenger. Like, who are you, kid? Are you going to do this by yourself? And then through the virtue of going through the hero's journey, of the virtue of him seeing me go through this experience, he came in and actually became an ally. On the way back to his office, he said to me, you know what? I got a kid that's about your age. I really respect what you're doing because I got a kid that's about your age. All she does is ask for money. So we went back to his office and he wrote me a beautiful letter on letterhead. He picked up the phone and he introduced me to all the other branch managers. The company was Janie Montgomery Scott. And he opened the door at 19. And the very next day, he got me onto the floor of the New York Stock Exchange and introduced me to all the major players. And that was the beginning of my career at 19 years old. So how did it start? One is it started on this hero's journey. From pain to possibility to purpose and then to power. Who's ready for that level of expansion in your own unique expression? So from that, I evolved to become Tony's #1 trainer. And I remember Tony said to me, here I am at like 19 years old. He said, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So you being here right now at Manifest Your Vision is a moment of decision that I want to congratulate you on. And I want to make sure you stay for the entire 3 days because everything we're doing is building upon everything else. Can we all commit? It's a moment of decision. Can we all commit to be fully present for all 3 days with our camera on as a prerequisite for maximizing the experience? High five? Yes? Give me a big yes in the chats. Yes? Okay, because it's in these moments of decision. You know, some people show up to things and it's like they got 1 foot in and 1 foot out and then they don't get a result. But when we're all in, we go all in and we declare there's always a way when I'm committed. This is the key to results. There I am after Wall Street. I thought I'd show that picture to you. And here I am years later, Talk about the fulfillment of life coming full circle. That's how you see on the hero's journey is life comes full circle, but at a higher octave, at a higher level. And then you come back and now you're the mentor. Okay. How many of you have this picture was taken, by the way, when I was on tour with Tony Robbins for a little over 2 years, and then the pandemic happened. I was speaking on stage for the 90 minutes right before he hit the stage in every major marketplace in Canada. But it's an example, and the reason why I'm so excited to share the story is it's an example of what the hero's journey is. You start in the ordinary world, you ascend to these higher realms, and then you become the mentor who comes back with the elixir. How many of you already know that you have a desire in your work to mentor, coach, support, guide, help others in some way, shape, or form? That's part of your hero's journey to manifesting your vision. Awesome. So neuroplasticity is one of the things that unfolds while you're going through this journey. It's one of the tools, okay, or understanding it becomes a very powerful key to manifesting your vision, and a tool that you're going to take with you on your hero's journey to manifesting your vision is the tool of NLP. I'm going to talk about NLP right now because our company is an institute of NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. And I'll define what neuro-linguistic programming is here in a moment. Doesn't it make sense that when you're on a hero's journey to manifesting your vision, you need tools? You need tools, you need strategies. Okay? So NLP is one of your most powerful tools. You need tools. NLP is a powerful tool. Here, I'll share with you what it is because I got some slides for you. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. It is a methodology to reprogram your own brain. It is a psychological approach and a set of techniques to reprogram your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors to achieve desired outcomes. Let me pause there for a moment. On your hero's journey, are you going to have thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that show up that may take you off the path? Are you going to have doubts or insecurities that show up? So would it be valuable to have tools to interrupt those old states and replace them with authentic, aligned, empowering states? That's one of the things that NLP will give you. It's the study and application of how our language, our behavior, and our nervous system interact to produce patterns. Sometimes those patterns could be patterns of limitation. Who's got patterns in the past, because we're in a brand new moment right now, anybody's got patterns of lack, limitation, scarcity, not enoughness? Who's ready to experience them for the last time and let them go? So NLP recognizes those patterns and then gives you tools and techniques to reprogram those patterns. Okay. It is an attitude. NLP is an attitude. An attitude meaning, hey, if this person can do it, I can do it. Who would love to have an attitude like this? If so-and-so can do it, I can do it. If this person can get that result, I can make it happen. So NLP, which our company is an institute of, one of the things is it's an attitude. If so-and-so can do it, I can. NLP is also an accelerated learning strategy. It's an accelerated learning strategy for the detection and utilization of patterns. Do you guys like when I show you the slides of this? I know we're going through a lot of information before we get into the transformational processes, but do you like to see the slides so you can see the wording on this? Okay, so I'm going to bring up this slide here for you. And the VIPs have this in their workbook. You have an amazing workbook. So NLP is an attitude. It's an accelerated learning strategy, meaning that you can learn in an accelerated fashion. You can learn faster. And one of the things that you can learn is how to detect and utilize patterns. So would it be valuable to detect patterns that don't serve you on your way to manifesting your vision? If all of a sudden a pattern shows up that isn't serving you on the journey to manifest your vision, how valuable would it be to nip it in the bud? Okay. If someone else has a pattern that you recognize that empowers them to accelerate their power of manifestation, like you look at, how many of you could look at someone and go, how's it so easy for them? Who's got somebody like that where you could look and you go, how do they do it so easy? Okay. So would it be valuable to be able to detect a pattern of someone else who has a skill that you would like to have, and to be able to elicit and understand how they perform that skill and then model it for yourself? Would that be valuable rather than reinventing the wheel? Okay. NLP empowers you to do that. NLP is a methodology that analyzes excellence in human behavior. So NLP analyzes excellence and then creates duplicatable models that can be used by anyone to enhance performance. So let's say that you're a coach and that you've got this vision to manifest your vision and bring your brand onto the frontier of the field of coaching and personal development. One of the things NLP teaches is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can go uncover who are people, who are experts, models. We call them, say this word out loud with me, everybody, models of possibility. Say that out loud. Who are models of possibility that represent the fulfillment of this vision? Okay. And how can you uncover the underlying structure and strategies of their process and integrate them while expressing your unique essence? So modeling is not copying someone else's behavior. Actually, I'm getting a little ahead of myself because modeling is part of our teaching. Okay. How we doing, everybody? Give me some feedback in the chats. I want to check in. Good to see you, Donna. Donna's in the house. Awesome. Where's the chats? Let me get the chats going. That's a great question. Somebody's asking me, who are your models of possibility? Oh, it's Carmen on our team. So who are your models of possibility? You might have different models of possibility for different purposes. Okay. So NLP is one of your tools on the journey to manifesting your vision. So NLP is a modeling technology. It distinguishes the difference that makes the difference between genius and average performers in any particular field. NLP uncovers that. What is the difference that makes the difference? Would that be important to know while you're on the journey to manifesting your vision? What's the difference that makes the difference? How is it that this person over here asks a question and gets a yes, but this person over here asks a similar question and gets a no? What's the difference that makes the difference? Wouldn't you want to know that? NLP asks that question. It asks and lives inside of the question, what is the difference that makes the difference? Because you could have two people that have similar visions, and one person embodies it, fulfills it, and evolves into a greater expression, and the other person stays stuck and giving all the reasons why it's not happening. When you're looking at these two people, who wants to know what's the difference that makes the difference when you're looking at these two examples? NLP answers that question at the deepest level. Okay. NLP is a methodology that leaves behind a trail of techniques you could use to manifest your vision, techniques to interrupt patterns of doubt or scarcity or overwhelm or stress, and bring in empowering mindsets, behaviors, and states. So that's a little bit about NLP. Who's fired up about mastering this powerful technology and having these tools that you can take on your epic hero's journey? Awesome. Here's a quick review for some of you that have been in class with me before, but it is so relevant to our topic of manifesting your vision because we live in a field of infinite possibilities. You're going out with your vision to manifest your vision, and we're in a field of infinite possibilities. Now, what happens in a field of infinite possibilities, here's a little diagram. I have it here. I have a slide as well. I'll take it up in a moment. So here you are. You're going to manifest your vision in a field of infinite possibilities. What happens is that your brain, your body, and your nervous system, I'll bring up the slide, your brain, your body, and your nervous system cannot take in infinite possibilities. It's too much information. It would be like trying to download the whole internet all at once. So we cannot take in all this information. So what we do all day long is we look out onto the field of infinite possibilities and we delete information. We delete information. We distort information. And we make generalizations about reality. I'll give you an example. Have you ever met somebody who tends to be a little bit negative? How about somebody who's so negative that even when something great happens, they look at you, they're like, not for long. That's because when you look out into the field of infinite possibility, if somebody is looking through the frame of mind of negativity, let's call it a frame of mind, a frame of being. If somebody's looking through the frame of negativity in a field of infinite possibilities, they're going to see what's in alignment with their state of being. Here's what we teach in NLP. In NLP, we teach that people do not respond to reality. They respond to their map of reality. So reality has infinite possibilities. You're going out to manifest infinite possibilities, but people are not responding to infinite possibilities. They're responding to their map. So if someone has a map of reality from the past that has fear or doubt or scarcity or not enoughness, even though they look out onto the field of infinite possibility to manifest, when they look, they're seeing through doubt. When they look, they're seeing through overwhelm. When they look, they're seeing through not enoughness, even though there's infinite possibilities. This is awesome news because it means that you can shift it. Here's what it means. It means that when you change, the world around you changes. You have that much power. So what determines in a field of possibilities, in a field of infinite possibilities to manifest your vision, what determines what you see, what you experience, what you feel, the results you get? What determines what you experience? You personally, Nellie, you, Maria, you, Harold, you, Linda, you, Bill. What determines what you experience in a field of infinite possibilities? Who can tell me in the chats? A little quiz. Those of you that are on certification, bonus points for getting your certification. What determines in a field of infinite possibilities what you experience, which bits of information? Let me put it to you another way. So here is the fulfillment of your vision. It exists in the field of infinite possibilities. Tell me what your vision is. Those of you that know what it is, put it in the chats. What is it? What's the vision, succinctly? How would you describe it? I saw some had a vision of the impact that you were going to make through growing your business, the podcast that you're going to release, a thriving community of midlife women. Awesome, Maria. Finances, okay? Writing a book, publishing a book. So those are all available in a field of infinite possibilities. So is its polar opposite. That's what it means to be in a field of possibility. Abundance, prosperity, wealth is available. So is poverty and struggling financially. It's all available. So in a field of infinite possibilities, what determines which bits of information, what you personally experience in a field of infinite possibilities? It's your state. It's your state. Your state of being. Your state of mind, your state of being, your state influences what you perceive and what actions you take in a field of infinite possibilities. Imagine it like this. I'll teach it to you another way. Who's been in a room, like a ballroom that has a big projector, and you see the screens in the front, and there's a projector that projects something onto the screen? Have we all seen that? So imagine the screen in a big ballroom is the field of infinite possibilities. The infinite possibilities that you could create to manifest your vision in ways more extraordinary than you could even imagine right now. So the screen represents infinite possibilities. The light that shines through the projector is your unique essence, your unique expression, your life force energy, the light that is you. What often happens, though, is a slide gets put into the projector. And that slide can be a slide of the past, a slide of an old wound, an old trauma, an old fear. And even though there's infinite possibilities, when the person looks, They're seeing that old wound. They're seeing that old fear. They're seeing that old trauma. What if it doesn't work? What if I screw up? Who can relate to that metaphor? So when we get this metaphor, here's what we understand. And I was having this conversation with Michael Beckwith. You guys got to make sure to bring your friends for tomorrow's session because it's going to be so amazing with Michael. I was talking to him about exactly the conversation we're having. And I said to him, in NLP, perception is not reality. Perception is projection. NLP, we say perception is projection. In other words, what you're perceiving in your field of infinite possibilities is a projection of your own beliefs, your own values, your own identity, your own sense of self. This is good news because it means you can shift it. And here's what Michael said back to me while we were geeking out on the same conversation we're talking about. He said, "You do not describe what you see, rather you see what you describe." In other words, you're not looking at your life and describing what's happening. You're not looking, someone put money in the chats when I talked about manifesting vision, they put money in there. You're not looking at your bank account and describing what's in there. You're not looking at your body and describing it. You're not looking at your business or your relationship and describing it. What's showing up, the bank account, the body, the relationship, the business, whatever it is, what's showing up is reflecting back to you your own programming. How many of you realize we've been programmed? Do you know most psychologists agree by the time a child is 7 years old, they've had over 25,000 hours of linguistic programming alone? Words downloaded into our minds, influencing our minds with ideas about who we are, what's possible. Who we are, what's possible for us, ideas about money, ideas about God, ideas about what's possible for us in our lives. And these ideas run in the mind like a muffled tape loop. Can anyone relate to that? And they fuel behavior and drive your life until you wake up and you go, wait a minute. It's like where did my frame go? You wake up, you go, wait a minute. Where does this idea even come from? Is this even mine? What is the origin of this? And you begin to have an elevated inquiry with yourself. Okay. That begins the process of transformation. So as you're manifesting your vision, you're literally reprogramming old patterns, releasing old patterns on your epic hero's journey, and rewiring your brain for your next level manifestation. Okay? And it is a never-ending journey because once you reach it, a whole new landscape becomes available because your capacity is infinite. So this journey is what we're here to guide you through. There's stages on this journey. And this journey of rewiring your brain, rewiring your nervous system is what NLP and neuroplasticity offers you. And let me bring up this slide so you know a little bit, especially those of you that are here for the first time. And our company is an institute globally. We've been around for over 25 years, since the year 2000. And we're an institute of applied neuroplasticity, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnotherapy, and timeline therapy to create these shifts, in your brain. And we guide people through these transformational processes. But we also certify people that want to become mentors, coaches, leaders in this transformative work, or weaving in this transformative work into their unique body of work. How many of you are in a place where you'd like to have more skills to coach others? Coach, guide, mentor others. If you're coaching, guiding, and mentoring others, that's what we're guiding you through in our courses. Here's one example of one of our advanced students who's gone through the hero's journey to manifesting vision. And he's a graduate of our advanced courses. He's actually now in skiing with his beautiful wife in Italy and staying with some of our other community members. But this is an example of the journey, is having an opportunity to go through it. And then as you go through it, then you're able to come back and help others. And while you go through the journey, there's stages. This isn't like, I find where a lot of times people get mixed up on manifesting their vision is they want everything to happen right this second. They want it to happen like, give it to me right now. And they don't realize that it is a journey. And there's stages on the journey. And there's stages of learning on the journey. Okay? So the first stage of learning is unconscious incompetence. That's the first stage of learning. You don't even realize that you don't know what you don't know. Okay? So you're going to go manifest this grand vision. There's a stage where you don't know what you don't know. Who remembers driving a stick shift car for the first time? You put it in gear and what happens? It's stalled. You didn't know that you didn't know. Well, quickly you get a bite of humble pie. You're like, I don't know how to do this. So you graduate. There's huge power in humility. A lot of times what blocks people's manifestation is they think they know everything. I already know this. I already know that. Oh, I know. Well, look at your results. Does the bank account show that you know? Does the body show that you know? Does the results in life show that you know? That's the way you know that you know. You look at the results. We'll talk more about that on day 3. I've got an amazing section for that on day 3. But there's a huge power in recognizing, you know what? I don't know this, and I'm going to ask for support. That's the power of the mentor in the hero's journey. I'm going to ask for help. Who's had a challenge in the past asking for support? Anybody had a challenge with that? Like believing you had to do it all yourself? Anybody had that belief? Like, if I'm going to do it right, I got to do it all by myself. Well, these are things that hinder. A brilliant mind once said that the greatest obstacle to discovery is not ignorance. It's the illusion of knowledge. So it's the moment we think we know that we literally shut off our listening and our ability to grow. Okay? I've been in this work for almost my entire life, and I get new distinctions on this communication model. And I've been doing this for decades because there's such depth as we start understanding these deeper aspects. So first stage of learning is unconscious incompetence. You don't know that you don't know. Second stage of learning is conscious incompetence. Now you just had a humble pie. You're like, you know what? I know I don't know this. I know I don't yet know how to manifest my vision, or I know I don't yet know how to manifest this next level. That's okay, because we are all in the process of growth based on wherever we are in our individual stages. The third step on the stages of learning is conscious competence. This is when you've got to focus on all the steps. Driving the stick shift car, who remembers when you had to focus on putting your foot in the clutch, putting the car in gear, foot off the clutch, foot on the gas, where am I going, foot off the gas, on the clutch? Who remembers where you had to think of every single one of those little steps and you were like, oh my gosh. But you stuck with it. You stuck with it. You were committed. Like my dear friend John Asroff says, one of the key things to manifesting your vision is, are you interested or are you committed? A lot of times people say, I'd like to manifest this, but they're not committed. You know when you're committed because you're like, there is no way this is not going to happen. Okay? You were committed to drive that stick shift car. You're like, I'm not going to not figure this out. So you graduated. You moved into stage 4, which is now called unconscious competence, or I prefer to call it natural action. Natural action. Natural action is where you don't need to think about it anymore. You are competent without having to think about all the steps. Here's what's happened from a perspective of your consciousness is you've moved the learning. Let's say driving the stick shift car. On stage 3, you had to consciously think of all the steps. So it was taking up brain space, right? You're like, got to think of the clutch, got to think of the gas, got to put the car in gear. So it's taking up brain space because you're consciously thinking about it. And consciously, you can only think of a certain number of things at a time. All of us. There's a capacity of what we're able to think about. But the moment you master it, this is why the journey, the hero's journey, is if I get one thing that I'm so committed to have you all receive, is the importance of the journey. Because what happens is as you continue the journey to receive the tools and master the skills start going from your conscious mind to your subconscious and unconscious. You become unconsciously competent. How many of you see certain people on the journey to manifesting vision and you're like, how does that person do that? For them, it's just a natural action. You see somebody like they get on a stage and they can speak in front of an audience where another person gets scared to speak in front of the audience. And you look at that person, you're like, how is that person a natural? They could just get on that stage and speak, or they can make those, calls to those high-level VIPs, and they just open the door of opportunity. Who would love to have that skill? You take it from 3 to 4. How do you go from 3 to 4? You keep showing up like you're doing right now with your cameras on, and you keep practicing, and you keep practicing, and you keep taking action. So, as we're going through this experience together, one thing that I did not introduce is our breakthrough gong. Back here, this is a gong that we have in all of our advanced courses. And we celebrate breakthroughs while they're happening. I'm curious, does anybody have any aha moments, any breakthroughs while we've gone through the experience so far? We don't have time in the main session today to share breakthroughs, but if you've had, go ahead and put B's in the chats, because we'll have some time in the VIP room to go through some of the breakthroughs. I love it. Awesome. And share with me in 1 or 2 words, how's your experience so far in our Manifest Your Vision Challenge going? If you were to describe it in 1 or 2 words, I'm seeing a lot of breakthroughs. I love it. Okay. Everything we're doing here is a do with process. That's why I keep encouraging you to turn your cameras on. Oh, okay. Eye-opening, fantastic. Breakthroughs, I love it. Yes. Okay, so let's celebrate those breakthroughs. And in the VIP room, we're going to have time to have Q&A, to apply this to you personally. How does this relate to you? To share some breakthroughs and have some advanced processes as well. Right now, let's do a quick exercise, shall we? Because as you embark towards manifesting your vision, one of the things that's key is to manifest your vision in a way that's in alignment with your unique purpose and in a way that honors the most essential aspects of your life, all aspects of your life. Because a lot of times I see people where they'll manifest a vision and other parts of their life fall apart. Like their marriage falls apart, their relationship with their kids falls apart. And then it's like, okay, is it really worth it? What's really most important to you in your life? Who agrees with that? That as we're together here right now in community, focused on manifesting your vision, that it's important that the vision that you manifest is holistic and it honors all the important areas of your life, that it doesn't compromise one area for another. I've seen so many people that come to me for success in business where they want to become the best in the world at what they do, and they compromise other aspects of their life to do it. And I want to make sure that for all of us here, that it's holistic and honoring all areas. Right now, I'm going to have everyone take out, if you're a VIP, this is in your workbook, your soul workbook. If you're not a VIP, you could just grab a piece of paper and write them down. Here, hold on. I'm going to have everyone draw 9 dots on your paper, or if you're a VIP, it's in your VIP notebook. Draw 9 dots. And these 9 dots represent the areas of your life that are the most important areas for you to include, to recognize, to focus on in order for you to have a joyful, fulfilling, prosperous life. Okay, does everybody have their 9 dots? Okay, here's your instructions. I'm going to give you a fun exercise. The instructions are, these 9 dots represent the most important areas of your life. That's what they represent. Okay. Your goal is to manifest your vision while honoring all aspects of your life in a holistic manner. So here's the fun exercise. Grab a pen, connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines, and you can't lift your pen. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines, and you can't lift your pen. Ready, go. I'll give you a moment. let me take a look. All right. How's it going? Who's doing this for the first time? Let me take a look. If you're doing this for the first time, raise your hands real high to the heavens. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to speak first to those who are doing this for the first time, because if you've been in one of the advanced courses with me, you might have done this exercise before. Who would like a little more time? Okay. Some of you are still working on it. You're like, give me some more time. Who's feeling a little challenged by this exercise? You're like, wait a minute. Like, who's feeling like, who's wondering if it could even be done? Who's having a moment of doubt of going, is this even possible? Can this even be done? Who's feeling a little challenged with it or frustrated even? Anybody feeling a little challenged or frustrated? Okay. I'll give you another moment. Take all the time you need in the next 30 seconds. Okay. Is anyone doing it for the first time who got it, who was able to connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines and they didn't lift their pen? Who's doing it for the first time and got it? Vanja, did you get it? Or are you still connecting them? Did you get it? No? Who's doing it for the first time? Let me take a look. Okay. Rachel, did you get it? You still working on it, Thomas? Okay, let me keep working on it because I'm going to give you, Maria, you still working on it? This is the exact example of what manifesting your vision is like. You've got an idea of what you want to do, but who feels like they're in a puzzle right now? Like, how do I fix this puzzle type of thing? How many of you felt that way in the context of manifesting your vision? Like you've got a Rubik's Cube. And you're like, how do I get this Rubik's Cube? Now, if you've ever met someone who's mastered the Rubik's Cube, they can do the Rubik's Cube in a flash. They do it like this. But someone who has not mastered the Rubik's Cube, they could be there for days and days and days and not get it. So here's the distinction. Here, let me show you the answer to this. Here's the 9 dots. I asked you to connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines, and you can't lift your pen. There it is. We connected all 9 dots using 4 straight lines. Here's another way to do it. Connect all 9 dots using 4 straight lines, and you can't lift your pen. Now, here's my question. How many of you were attempting to connect all the 9 dots inside the box? Who was attempting to do this inside the box? Okay, so who's been attempting to manifest their vision inside the box? And then wondering, wait a minute, why am I not getting it? Why is it not happening? But you're focused on manifesting the vision here, but the vision isn't manifesting here. It's out here. That's one of the powers of what NLP gives you. NLP gives you the power to step outside of the boundaries of your previous identity, your previous belief system, your previous ways of thinking and being. And in that state of expansion, be able to tune in to something greater. Who's ready to come into a state of expansion? Who's ready to step outside the boundaries of their previous ways of thinking and being? Okay. This is one of the keys to manifesting your vision, is coming into expansion, because we've been programmed. We have been programmed to think inside this box. I even have an image for you. We've been programmed about how much money we're capable of making, how much love, how much joy, how much happiness. We've been programmed. Here's the awesome news though. NLP teaches us that we've been programmed. It also teaches us that we are meta programmable. So yes, we have been programmed. Okay. Who can relate to being programmed to a certain standard of living? Let's say standards. A certain standard. That's why, in the context of manifesting your vision, you will always manifest to your minimum standard. Remember that. You will always manifest to your minimum standard. So one of the fastest ways to manifest your vision is really to raise your standards. But what we don't realize sometimes is that we have standards that have been programmed from childhood, from the earliest stages, from even our ancestral lineage being carried down our family line. How many of you could tell that there's certain patterns from the past that show up in the present that take you out of alignment sometimes and block the manifestation of your vision? Maybe you have something like that? We're going to talk about that on day 3. On day 3, I'm going to share with you, because a lot of times some of these patterns are from early stages, early in childhood. Beliefs, values, identity, sense of self. We're going to talk about that. So the awesome news in what NLP teaches is that we are meta-programmable. Yes, we've been programmed, but we can program ourselves. And it's important that as we manifest this vision, we're doing it in alignment with our unique essence, honoring your unique essence, honoring your unique soul's expression. Here's a case study of one of our brilliant community members. Her family owns the largest orthodontic institute in Brazil. And they had a vision for her that she was going to take over the family business. And they had that vision for her since she was a little girl, but that vision was not in alignment with her vision. She had a different vision. So one of the keys to manifesting your vision is that it's in alignment with your unique purpose, your unique essence, your unique expression. Now, a different example of someone who manifested vision, I just saw this movie. What a great movie. There was a movie with the tennis superstars, Serena and Venus Williams. And you could tell that, you know, are they an example of manifesting vision? They're an amazing example of manifesting vision. And, they grew into a family that really believed in their vision as little girls. I won't go into the whole story, but it's a great story on manifesting vision if you want to go take a look at that film. So here's one of the keys to manifesting your vision is you want to manifest your vision in alignment with a Japanese word called your ikigai. Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese word. It means your reason for being. It means your true value, your true self-worth. Okay. So a lot of times somebody has a vision and they're in the doing of it so much that they're not honoring their ikigai, their reason for being, their essence. We actually invested an entire month on this teaching of ikigai in our membership program called Manifestors Alliance. Because a lot of times what blocks people in the journey to manifestation is this idea of worthiness. Can anyone relate to that? Like being worthy of it, being good enough? You know, do I deserve this? So Ikigai is a foundational teaching that supports you with that. So here you see Ikigai, it is your reason for being. And on the top right, you see that lion because he is the symbol of our membership program, Manifestors Alliance. We spent a whole month on this. So it's about rooting into your true worth and your true value. It is an art of living. And it's a word that means your reason for being, okay? And the thing about Ikigai is not, and I'm saying this, and I'm going to pause for a second to make sure you really get this. Ikigai is not like this big, huge life purpose, okay? Ikigai is about enjoying your present moment in every area. I mean, it could be like, you're enjoying the process of writing. Let's say you're creating a campaign. The campaign itself becomes part of your ikigai, your reason for being. It's not this thing like, oh my gosh, I got to get through this. I need to get this out so I can get this result. It's like you're infusing your work, your creations with this energy of higher purpose. That is ikigai. So it's like when you're making a phone call to a potential prospect or client, you're in the space of connecting with them and really understanding who they are, what they value, what's most important to them, entering their map of the world, understanding their problems, their pains, and that you enjoy this moment of connection as part of your journey to manifesting your vision. Is this being clear? Because I haven't taught this way before. And I'm teaching it this way because a lot of times people get so much in the doingness that they miss the deeper sense of being. The deeper sense of being. So in the traditional Japanese meaning of ikigai is this essence of beingness, your state of being that flows through everything, whether you're making a meal, calling a client, going for a walk in nature, writing a new piece of content, sending an email. There's a state of being that you're in that supports the manifestation of vision. Now, here's the thing about ikigai in the Western sense. In the Western sense, ikigai is a convergence, and this is where it really relates to manifesting your vision. The Western interpretation of ikigai is the convergence between what you love, what you're great at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. And we don't have too much. At the end of today's session, I'll tell you how you can all receive that teaching I did on Ikigai. I'm not going to go too much deeper into Ikigai here because that's an entire teaching in and of itself. But in the VIP workbook, look at how beautiful the VIP workbook is, everyone. When you go to VIP, you get this workbook. In the VIP workbook, there is prompts and journal questions, like here, that you can go into to support you in really taking this teaching to a deeper level. You see here's some contemplation questions to support you in really tuning into your ikigai on your journey to manifesting your vision. Those are in, journaling is very powerful, okay? Those are in the VIP workbook. So I really encourage all of you to upgrade to VIP. We'll talk about that more towards the end, but you get a chance to receive that. So one of the questions that I'll ask you now, and you could journal on this, write this down, journal on this, is in the context of manifesting your vision. And this is the question I asked when I guided Fletcher Jones Mercedes-Benz to become the #1 Mercedes-Benz dealer in the world. I wrote about this in an email. Did you guys read that email? Okay. So years ago, I customized the training and delivered the training for Fletcher Jones Mercedes. And when I came in to really understand what their vision was to be the best in the world. They wanted to be #1 in the world. And for them, that was very authentic with their state of being. Like their highest core value was excellence. Here was the question. I promised this to you in the email. I promised you I would give you the question that started the process of them manifesting the vision of becoming #1 in the world. And the question I asked them was this, and I'm going to ask you this, and you could journal it while I ask you. Who are you being when you are at your absolute best? Who are you being? And just share with me, who are you being when you are at your absolute best? When you are truly, authentically at your absolute best, who are you being? Put it in the chats. Okay, joy, open, curious, love, inspired. Who are you being? I don't actually know yet. Wesley, I'm glad you're here because I'm going to be guiding you every step of the way. Just keep your cameras on and show up. Okay, so one person you're being is you're being somebody who's focused on growth right now because you're here. So who are you being? Okay. So who are you being? Who am I being? You could ask yourself that. You could even continue that journaling this evening before you go to bed. That's an awesome question to journal before bed. Who am I being at my absolute best? When I'm at my absolute best, who am I being? Because that will evoke the authentic you. And being, coherence in your being is the most essential foundation to manifesting your vision. Because a lot of times people want a vision, but they're trying to manifest that vision from a state of being that is incongruent with the vision they're trying to manifest. So like they're trying to manifest prosperity and wealth, but they're in a state of scarcity and lack and limitation. You cannot manifest prosperity and wealth in a state of lack and limitation. So what's essential is to quantum jump. We're going to be doing a visualization in the VIP where we're going to be quantum jumping. We're going to do a visualization where we're going to quantum jump into the version of you that is already living the fulfillment of your vision being manifest. And by the way, those visualizations that we're going to be doing in the VIP room are so impactful because in the main session, I'm giving you the teaching, but in the VIP, we're able to go into the visualizations and the activations, and they're so impactful because the visualizations and activations start to really rewire your brain. Okay. So, who are you being at your absolute best? This is a foundation to what by day 3 in our challenge. By day 3, you're gonna discern everything that we've been covering, and you're gonna distill it into what's gonna become a very clear compass for you. A very clear compass that Napoleon Hill, if you're familiar, I won't get too much into his work, although it's very profound, he calls the definite chief aim. Actually, I will slightly get into a little bit of Napoleon Hill. So Napoleon Hill, who's never heard, has anybody never heard of Napoleon Hill? He's been around, okay? Diane's looking at me funny. She's like, everybody's heard of Napoleon Hill, okay? So he was hired by Andrew Carnegie many years ago and paid a salary over decades to study the difference between successful and unsuccessful people. And he wrote a book about it called Laws of Success. That book changed my life when I was in my early teens. And then he realized most people don't read books. So he ended up writing a Cliff Note version of it called Think and Grow Rich. You know, Think and Grow Rich is not the actual book. Think and Grow Rich is the Cliff Note version of Laws of Success. But one of the chapters that he wrote in there was called Your Definite Chief Aim. He found that every top leader that achieved extraordinary success had a clear, specific, defined, measurable, definite chief aim. And by the end of day 3, you are going to clarify, articulate, and declare your definite chief aim. And I'll tell you a story about it. Years ago, Bruce Lee, who knows the brilliant phenomena Bruce Lee, he found himself in a place where he was really struggling. I wrote an email about this. Do you guys read the email on Bruce Lee? Okay. He was struggling and he was having to, teach martial arts just to pay the bills. And he realized that he needed to do something different within himself in order to manifest the vision he had. So he actually started learning and going into personal development. A lot of people don't know that about him. And while he went in through personal development, he discovered the power of a definite chief aim. And here's what he actually wrote in 1969. We'll talk more about it on day 3 when you write yours. But it was a very clear, specific, definite chief aim about who he intended to become. It wasn't just what he intended to do. This is important on manifesting your vision. It wasn't just what he intended to do or what he intended to get. That's important. A lot of times people think of manifesting their vision, they think of what they intend to get. It wasn't just that. It was about who he intended to become. It was about what he intended to contribute, what he intended to give, the impact he intended to make, and then what he would receive as a virtue of that. So one of the things that was so powerful about Bruce Lee in his declaration and why it came through to fruition, he fulfilled that definite chief aim. He fulfilled that vision, died prematurely, so unfortunate, was he was in the appropriate state of being to manifest vision. So there is an appropriate state of being to manifest your vision. And then there's other states that block the manifestation of your vision. So in the main session, we're going to go deep into them. In the VIP, I'm going to guide you through visualizations. Recognize that there is a difference between your state of being and a goal that you have, which is the goal will be a milestone towards the fulfillment of your vision. So let's say somebody has a vision that they want to launch a new product, and it's going to impact millions of people around the world. And that's their vision. They have this product. It's going to improve people's lives. It's going to make a meaningful impact on the planet. And my vision is improving the lives of millions of people through this product. There's going to be goals along the way. Tracy's giving me thumbs up because she's got a product like that. I know you, Tracy. So there's milestones and goals along the way to the fulfillment of that vision. Yes? The vision has goals and milestones along the way. Now, there's a difference between your state and the goals. And a lot of times what happens, like when people come to our advanced courses, and we're going to talk about our advanced courses more tomorrow, and I'm going to be sharing with you what those next steps are, because remember, this is a hero's journey, and there are steps on this journey to mastery, on this journey to evolution. Is a lot of times on our advanced courses, we send out questionnaires. And they're very detailed questionnaires. And I ask people about what do they want? What do they desire? And often a person will tell me what they want as a state. In other words, they'll say, I want peace. I want freedom. I want to feel success. I want fulfillment. Those are states, not goals to be accomplished as milestones on the journey to manifesting your vision. I'll give you a slide so you get what I see more specifically. There's a difference between states and goals. States, give me some examples of states that you'd like to experience on the journey to manifesting your goal. Confidence, states of enthusiasm. By the way, one of the fastest ways to manifest your vision is with states of enthusiasm, love, faith. Those are powerful states. Neuroscience even talks about how positive emotions amplify your powers of manifestation. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ones. Gratitude, freedom, happiness. But how many times do you see people who are like, I will be happy when? This is one of the things that blocks people so much from manifesting their vision, is they shortchange themselves and do not allow themselves to experience the state until after they achieve a goal. Has anybody done that to themselves before? I've done that years ago in my past. Has anybody been like, I am not going to feel successful until this and this and this and this and this happens. I will not be happy until A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Anybody ever put those rules on themselves? Here's a powerful wisdom piece. You will manifest your goals with greater velocity by accessing empowering states in advance before they've arrived, before the goal has arrived. So with states, and I'm about to give you a formula. So with states, you can experience it right now. You can experience gratitude right now. All you got to do is pause and think about just anything you're grateful for. You can experience courage right now. You could close your eyes and think about a time where you felt courageous in light of a challenge. So states you can experience now with goals towards the fulfillment of your vision. There's time involved. So the goals, so you've got the vision, you're accessing the state in the moment of now, and then there's goals and milestones towards the fulfillment of that vision. The goals have time involved. The states, you can experience them now. You can experience them. States are more ambiguous. Like if I said to experience freedom, it's more ambiguous, where goals are stated specific. I'm going to have my book published in the next 90 days or sooner. That's a goal. States are infinite, like love, that's infinite. Goals are measurable, to have 100 clients or more in the next 30 days or less. There's no steps to states I can guide you through embodying and experiencing an empowering state just by guiding you through a visualization. With goals, there are steps involved. So states are for yourself. You know, you can states. How are we doing with that? Let me just pause for a second. Let me check in. Okay. So here's a distinction. One of the keys that's most important to manifesting your vision is to access the state. What states would you say would be most effective for you manifesting your vision? Share with me in the chats. What are some of the states? How about confidence is one? What's another state? How about sovereignty? It's one of my favorite states. How about clarity? How about enthusiasm? The word enthusiasm means entheos. That's the origin of the word enthusiasm, the divine within. Entheos. Okay. Awesome. So there's a formula. So as you're on your hero's journey to manifesting your vision, one of the things you want to be most present to is your state of being along the way. And the awareness of any moment where you lose your state, right? The dragon comes in, and how to quickly and immediately realign your state for the journey of manifesting vision. Okay. So there are ingredients in your formula to manifesting, there are ingredients in your state of mind formula. There's ingredients for your formula to master your state. Here's the ingredients. And those of you that are in VIP, it's in your soul work book. Okay. So you don't have to take notes on this one. It's in there. All right. So the first ingredient, here's where they are. These are your ingredients to master your state. The first is your body. How you move your body influences how you feel. It's imperative to take care of your body. If your body does not feel safe, this will block manifestation of vision. This is why it's important to have practices that honor your health and wellness and vitality. I'm not going to get into health and wellness and vitality practices, but they're foundational to manifesting vision. So one is your physiology. How you move your body influences how you feel. So for example, I'm going to ask everyone, just for a moment, to sit in your chair as if you were bored out of your mind and really exaggerate it. Boy, some of you didn't even need to move. Okay, so on the count of 3, we're going to snap out of it, and I want you to sit on the edge of your seat as if you knew that the next thing I was going to say was going to create a major meaningful breakthrough. Like the reason you arrived is going to happen right now. Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Notice how just that one shift shifted your state. A little bit or a lot? Huge. Okay, huge. And we're online. It would be even more if we were in person. Okay? So how we move our body influences how we feel. So physiology, you want your physiology to be in tune for manifesting your vision. The first step of physiology being in tune is just you're taking care of your basic health. So you're in a state of coherence in your nervous system. What do I mean by that? You're getting sleep, you're getting the right nourishment, you're getting the right foods, you're getting the right sleep, rest, exercise, fresh air. All of those foundations will accelerate your powers of manifestation because you'll have greater mental clarity. You'll have greater strength in your body. Can we all, without me going into those details, can we all agree that there are physiological, biological aspects that you can do that will support you in manifesting your vision with greater velocity just by taking care of your health? Like if somebody's not sleeping properly or eating properly, like you're not going to be able to manifest your vision in the same way if you're not sleeping and eating Skittles for dinner or something. Okay. So the first is physiology. Say it with me, everybody out loud. Say it so you hear it. Physiology.
Physio.
You got it. How you move influences how you feel. Say it out loud. How I move influences how I feel. How you move influences how you feel. Motion creates emotion. Tony Robbins used to say that to me when I was 19 years old and I used to work closely with him. Motion creates emotion. So here's one distinction. Get yourself in motion. So from this vision that we're in the process of getting clear and articulating, and by day 3, we're going to define it. You're going to have your definite chief aim, just like Bruce Lee, is you want to be in motion towards that definite chief aim in a state of being, not in the mindset of doingness. Okay? And so the first is physiology. So how amazing would it be to have your physiology be ready, to train your brain and nervous system to be ready? Like the elevator door opens and it's Oprah, you're ready for the conversation. You know, a person shows up and that person is a VIP that you'd like to do business with, you're ready for the conversation. Has anyone prior to today ever had an opportunity show up that could have opened a door of possibility towards the fulfillment of your vision, but a part of you felt not ready? And you didn't walk through that threshold into that possibility? You were on the hero's journey, that possibility came in, but you were refusing the call. Anybody had that? You were refusing the call in the hero's journey. That's why the next stage here is the mentor is going to come in and go, hey, you've got this. You can do this. Here's the tool. Here's the script. Here's the strategy. Here's the technique. But then you've got to go out and do it. You take the tool. You take the technique, and then you go out and you implement, and then you come back and we reflect. So the first step is your physiology. The next step on your hero's journey is your language and your communication. How you communicate, not just to others, to yourself. You all know that little voice inside your head that's always talking to you? How many of you are like, what voice? That one. Who's got a whole committee up there? You're like, voice, I've got voices. So that voice has power. So how do you bring your communication, your internal communication and your external communication with others in alignment with your true purpose, in alignment with your vision? This takes discipline. It's also a skill that you develop on your hero's journey. It's not something you get in just 2 hours. I'm going to tell you, developing your communication skills is a journey and a process. And by the way, we're building on this. We've got a surprise that's coming up where we're going to be, I'm not going to mention it just yet, but we're got a surprise coming up where we're going to be sharing with you how you can take that language piece to the next level. But I have a whole advanced course on this. We'll talk about it tomorrow. It's called Supreme Influence in Action, where I guide you specifically on mindset and communication. We only do it once a year. We'll talk about tomorrow. Supreme Influence in Action is about mindset and communication, because two of the things that are going to be essential to master on your hero's journey to manifesting your vision is your mindset. When the dragon shows up, what mindset are you in? Okay? Are you in a mindset that is courageous, that is ready, that is strong? Okay. So mindset and communication, those are two of the most essential tools that we have for you on this journey. The next is your beliefs. And this is this one gets a little bit trickier. We guide people to recode their beliefs in our advanced courses, because your beliefs will influence the actions you take towards manifesting your vision more than anything else. What if someone believes that they don't have what it takes? What if someone believes that they're not good enough? What if somebody believes that it's too hard? What if we shift that belief and they believe there's always a way when I'm committed? I have a unique gift that nobody else on the planet has. I can improvise, adapt, and overcome to achieve a greater outcome. If it doesn't show up as I intend, something even greater will happen. I'm going to keep charging forth. towards the fulfillment of my vision? Is that a different belief if someone believes if it doesn't show up the way I intend, something even better is going to happen? I'm going to keep charging forth towards the fulfillment of my vision. Do you think that belief will impact your results? Yes or no? So I'm going to invite you to contemplate what beliefs, and you can share with me in the chats, maybe a few of them come up right now, what beliefs would be most essential for you to have in order for you to manifest your vision? What would you need to believe? Actually, let's pause for a moment and give you a moment to journal on that, because that's such a great question. What would you need to believe to manifest your vision, Harold? What would you need to believe about yourself? What would you need to believe, Yesenia, Tina? Yes, there is a workbook to print. Janet is asking. It's for the VIPs. We've created an amazing workbook for the VIPs. What would you need to believe? Melissa says that I'm unstoppable, that I'm limitless, okay? What would you need to believe? Share with me in the chats. That it's possible, okay? That I have great potential. Okay. If not me, then who? Right? So your beliefs. Now, how many of you, just as I'm asking this question, how many of you could tune in that there might be some beliefs that don't really support you, that are in opposition to the manifestation of your vision? Who can sense that there are some beliefs that are in opposition? That belief is an ordeal. That belief might be a dragon on the journey to manifesting the vision. Who can relate to that? Okay, that's why we have specific transformative NLP and evolved NLP processes to recognize, uncover those beliefs and transform them. That's the deeper work. First, we got to understand what we're doing, then we go into the deeper process. So we have those processes for you. We have processes that we teach to uncover any limiting belief that does not serve you and recode it and replace it with a new empowering belief that is authentic for you and in alignment. There are processes to do that, okay? And what that does is when you shift a belief, it shifts your focus. And whatever you focus on expands. If someone's focused on what isn't happening, what if someone is focused on why is this taking so long? Why is this so slow? Why am I not getting it yet? And that's what they're focused on based on old beliefs. How many of you can see that if someone is focused on what isn't working, imagine that little frame right here, and now that's what they're perceiving in the field of infinite possibilities. So we flip that, we shift it to focus in alignment with empowering beliefs. What am I going to focus on? I'm going to focus on the possibility. I'm going to focus on the opportunity. I'm not going to focus on the obstacles. I'm focusing on the open spaces. I'm gliding through the open spaces of life. I'm not just focusing and bumping into obstacles of existence. So on your journey to manifesting your vision, a key part is focusing on where you want to go. And then when you focus on what isn't working, you're only focusing on what isn't working for the purpose of learning. If you're looking at what isn't working, it's not to mull in it. It's to go, okay, what can I learn from this? And how can I integrate this learning? And then how do I focus on the vision of the direction that I'm heading, where I'm inspired to go? And then ultimately, and we're going to go into this one, in the center is your identity. Okay? It's in the center, the I am is your sense of self, your sense of identity. Because your sense of being, your sense of self, your sense of identity influences everything. Here, I'll show you and I'll explain to you exactly what I mean by that. I'm going to do a teaching on the importance and the power of identity. Okay. So a lot of times people come to me because there's something in their environment that they want to change. They want to manifest their vision, but they want to change something. Something in their environment that they want to change. They want to change their bank account. They want to change their body. They want to change their business. Okay. Anybody here in a place like that? You want to create change here and you want to move toward a vision, yes? So what determines the environment that someone is in? What influences their environment? What determines that? Their actions, right? Their actions. So this is their actions, their behaviors. Your actions are going to determine your environment. What determines your actions? Your capabilities, your capacity. Okay. Now you want to expand these capabilities. You want to expand this capacity. And what's influencing your capacity and your actions? It's your beliefs. Your beliefs are influencing everything here. And your beliefs are fueled by core values that are fueled by your identity. The way you answer the question, who am I? The way you answer the question, who am I, in your quiet moments with just you and you, the way you answer the question, who am I, drives your life. The way you answer the question, who am I, the way you answer the question, who am I, determines what you value on your journey to manifesting your vision. The way you answer the question, who am I, determines your beliefs on your journey to manifesting your vision. Who are you? The way you answer the question, who am I, determines your behaviors, influences every area of your life. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I being? Who am I inspired to be? And who am I inspired to become? Who am I? Who am I being? Who am I being at my absolute best? And who am I inspired to become? This journey of being at our absolute best is one of the keys of every work that we do, every course, every offering, every work that we do. And what I'd love to do is I'd love to invite you to have this be an ongoing journey together with me towards manifesting your vision, because it's not a one-time thing. It is an ongoing process. And one of the keys is that on your journey to manifesting your vision is that you take charge. We call it in NLP, being at cause for what is showing up in your business and in your life. Meaning that in any given moment, you're either at cause. Here, I'll bring up this slide. You're either at cause or you are in effect. So being at cause means I'm taking ownership for whatever is showing up, and it is the foundational key to manifesting your vision. You cannot manifest your vision on the effect side of this equation. So when someone is in effect, I take out my red flags, okay? So effect is when someone is putting the cause outside themselves. So let me give you some examples of being in effect. Giving reasons why the vision hasn't manifested. Blaming, minimizing, denying, justifying, trying to look good, trying to not look bad. These are examples of being in effect. Being at cause is I'm taking ownership for whatever is showing up in my business and in my life. So I'll give you some examples of how, and what you want to be is you want to be at cause for your state. Being at cause for your state. So we were sharing about states a moment ago, taking ownership for whatever state you're in and recognizing you have the power to shift it. So, for example, from a disempowering state, like fear, self-doubt, scarcity, to courage, confidence, abundance, these are foundational keys to manifesting your vision. How do you go from the disempowering state to the empowered state? First, you take ownership for it. Okay, you're like, this is the state I'm in. I'm taking ownership for this. Then we look at What are some of the distinctions? Let's put some of these in your notes right now. The disempowering state. What's one disempowering state that has blocked the manifestation of your vision? Go ahead and put it in the chats. What's a state that in the past has blocked the manifestation of your vision? Okay, so let's say Mercedes says fear. Okay, so notice right now that fear has a physiology. What is the physiology of fear? What is the physiology of fear or doubt? How many of you could say that doubt has a physiology? So how is the physiology of doubt different than the physiology of confidence? Can you guys see them in your mind? Are they very different? How is the physiology of doubt? Let's look at this, because in the VIP room we're going to do an exercise on it. How is the physiology of doubt different than the physiology of confidence? Write it down. Because it's going to be important to catch yourself on that. How is the physiology of fear different than the physiology of confidence? How about the language? Some of you put doubt or fear. What language did doubt or fear have? Doubt or fear had language like, what if it doesn't work? What if? Give me another example of language in the past that was disempowering. Okay. I don't know how. Okay. So how about language that is confident, in alignment with your manifesting your vision? Okay. So one thing that you'll want to look at with the formula that we gave you is that there are aspects within these ingredients in the formula that activate states that block manifestation of vision. Okay? So one state that blocks manifestation of vision is self-doubt. Does self-doubt have a physiology? Does it have a language? Does it have a belief? Does it have a focus? Does it have an identity? Self-doubt. Okay, shake it out. Shake it out. What would you like to have instead? Instead of self-doubt, you'd like to have what? I'm going to have this be super real for you. I'm going to start guiding you through this. What's a state that does not serve you in manifesting your vision? What's an example of a state that has been showing up, a mindset or a state? Make it very real for you. Don't pick something generic. What's a state that's been showing up for you that doesn't serve you in the fulfillment of manifesting your vision? And you would love to experience that state for the last time during this challenge. What is it? Okay, so Melissa says procrastination, lack of action, fear of scarcity. I'm too old, okay? So let me ask you this. Are you ready to let go of that old state? Right here and right now. Are you ready to let it go within every cell of your being, to be fully liberated of it? Yes or no? Does any part of you object? Does any part of you object? See, I'm looking at Julie right there, and I love that she's being honest about it. Julie goes like this. I don't know if you all can see it, because you might just be looking at me. Julie goes like this. So it's like, yes, I want to go forward towards the fulfillment of the vision, but, okay, there's a little part of me that objects. Who can relate to what Julie was just saying right now? You're like, I'm ready to go on the fulfillment of my vision, but there's a little part of you that sometimes is holding back a little bit. Who can relate to that? In NLP, we call that secondary gain. Secondary gain is very real psychological phenomena. Secondary gain means that you want something, but there's a part of secondary gain means that consciously you want something, but subconsciously there's a part of you that's holding on to an old pattern because it's linking some form of benefit. It's usually safety and protection. Like, I want to move towards this vision, but there's a part of you that's holding back. So a foundational key to manifesting your vision is transcending secondary gain. Because if part of you wants it, but another part of you is scared or is concerned, then it's like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. Who's ever done that where it's like a part of you wants one thing, another part of you wants something else? Has anybody ever had that happen? And that blocks the manifestation of your vision. Would it be valuable for you to bring those into alignment? Huge, huge. Then you're not having that internal resistance. So transcending secondary gain is a foundational key to our transformative process to manifest your vision. And that is the exact type of work that we do, because it's hands-on transformational experience in our membership program, which I'm going to talk to you a lot about, because a lot of times what happens is people come to these transformative experiences and then they go back to their life. Has anybody ever had like a major breakthrough in an experience like this, and then you go back to your life and then life takes over? So we have an experience where you could be plugged in every week for an hour of power to stay on this hero's journey towards manifesting your vision. And one of the things we do, or examples like what I just taught you, is how to transcend secondary gain. So before I share with you about the membership, let me make sure that everybody in the room is ready to let go of whatever's been blocking them. Are you guys ready to let go of whatever's been blocking the manifestation of your vision right here, right now? Would any part of you object? Most of you are ready. There's a few of you that would object. I'll tell you what, I will transcend secondary gain in the VIP room. Okay. So here's what we've uncovered so far today. So we've uncovered that we are on an epic hero's journey towards manifesting our vision, and that there's 12 stages on this epic hero's journey. And that as we go through these 12 stages, we're not only growing in our being, we're literally reprogramming our brain and our nervous system. And that as we go through these stages to manifest our vision, we're going to go through 4 stages of learning. We're going to go just like driving that stick shift car. Okay. And as we go through 4 stages of learning, we're going to be connecting all the dots in our lives with this vision. Make sure it's in alignment with our ikigai. It's not just a vision that's out of alignment with our soul's essence. So ikigai, so that we connect the dots in our lives. And we recognize that there's a difference between states and goals. And that the fastest way to achieve a goal towards the fulfillment of our vision is to access the most empowered states. And that those states have a formula. There's a formula, and the ingredients are your physiology, your language, your beliefs, your focus, and your identity. And that as you start recognizing the difference between these empowering states, and a disempowering state, you have the tools to correct and make adjustments that are the difference that makes the difference. How we doing, everybody? Share with me in the chats. Okay. Woohoo. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. We've got 10 minutes left before the main session. Here's what I'd love to share with you. I'm going to be giving you as much value. I'm going to be giving you as much value as I possibly can in the time that we have together over these 3 days. And then I'm going to be sharing with you the advanced programs, courses, and things that we have so that you understand the full spectrum of everything that's available to you. You can make the best decisions for where you are on your hero's journey. So one of the things that we have, how many of you realize the importance of working with a coach that's reflecting with you and having it be a practice, like going to the gym? It's not like we go to the gym once, work out really hard in a 3-day challenge, and then go back to our lives. So going to the gym is a power practice. When we go to the gym, we're strengthening our mind, our muscles. We have a gym in our community. It's called Manifestors Alliance. It is the gym for our soul, for our mind, for our hearts. It's a gym for us developing our skills to live at the highest levels of excellence. And what's so cool about this membership is that we're together every week for an hour. Who would love to have a 1-hour check-in, power practice, power teaching that then you could turn around and apply right away in your life to make a meaningful difference? Okay, so let me share with you about Manifestors Alliance and then I'll take any questions specifically about it. So Manifestors Alliance is our membership program. Every month we have a new theme, and the themes are in alignment with this hero's journey that we're going on. Okay, so for example, one month we had the theme of Ikigai, your worthiness and your reason for being. Another month we had a theme of your brand. Another month we had a theme about transforming limiting beliefs. So we have different themes every month. So every month we have a new theme, and I teach on that new theme the first Wednesday. Let me take this out for you. Here's what you receive. Let me bring this in. I teach on that new theme the first Wednesday of every month. So there's a new monthly high impact training. You get a soul work workbook that goes with that training. The second week, we do a hands-on VIP Q&A and feedback. We bring expert special guests. For example, a couple months ago, we had the gentleman who wrote this book here was our special guest. He was the very first neuroscientist who's also an expert in NLP. He wrote the very first neuroscience-backed NLP book. We have all kinds of amazing special guests. Brian Tracy, who knows who Brian Tracy is? Brian Tracy's been our special guest. We've had John Astroff has been a guest. Greg Reed's been a guest. We've had a lot of amazing special guests. In our membership, we also have breakout integrations. So it's such a powerful place to be because it's a community. And every month we come together with this theme, and then we have the high impact teaching of the month. Then we have the VIP Q&A on the second week. Then we have an expert special guest or a visualization on the third week. And then we have breakout integration sessions on the fourth week. And what this does is this supports you in ensuring that you integrate the month's teaching at a cellular level. We also have an amazing community of manifestors from around the world that are supporting you. Like I said, we have some of our community members that are on trips together right now. You also get all the replays, a dashboard with everything, and you get our best offers. So with the membership, it's only $97 a month, you guys. $97 a month, that's it. And you get all of this value. So the team will drop the links. You can take action and you can join us for $97 a month, or you could just take action for the whole year. You get an annual pass. And the reason why this is so valuable right now is because the price is going up. We're in the process of increasing. We're going through a price increase. And the reason for that is we are increasing the value of it. We are increasing the soul work in it. We're increasing the value of everything that you have. So you're able to lock in this pricing and make sure that you're guaranteed this pricing forever. And everybody else is going to be on this higher ticket pricing. So the membership, you could cancel anytime. If we have any members that are in the room that would love to share a little bit about their experience, so I'm happy to have a couple of members share how the membership has been. Is there any members that would like to share? Let's see if there's... Diane, we'll just take one or two shares. So Diane, just to give it some context, before you were in the membership, this is what was happening. Then you came to the membership, here's what changed, and now here's what's different. And I know Diane's been having her best months in business. So please share.
Before, I was really struggling on a lot of levels, and I got used to struggling. And my oldest daughter said, why aren't you taking your classes? You always do the best when you're taking your classes. And so I signed up, and I haven't stopped, and you've got me through hell. So I show up every week.
And what's happened? What's happened? Like your business has grown,
my business is growing.
Prices. You've raised your prices. I know that your business is growing.
Raised my prices, more successful, more driven.
Okay.
I can actually see myself achieving even higher.
Okay.
I am doing the work. I'm just kicking ass and taking names.
I love it. Give Diane some love.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. So what's so cool about the membership that I love is that prior to creating the membership, the way that this would work is I would create total immersion, transformative experiences. And people would come for like 4 full days, but then we wouldn't see them for another half a year. And then they would come and they would have 4 days and we wouldn't see them. So we created the membership to give the community a way to be connected and have a 1 hour teaching that is super powerful every single week to stay in that momentum of manifesting your vision. And everything that we're doing right now in the membership this year is designed towards manifesting the vision that we're talking about. For example, last month, we focused on cultivating your imagination. Okay. So you can really cultivate those powers of imagination. This month, we're focusing on overcoming obstacles and objections towards manifesting the vision. Anyone else in the membership? We'll have one or two that might want to share. Let's see, or I might call on you. Let's see. Yesenia, I see you have your hand up. So you could share before the membership, here's what was happening. Then you came to the membership, here's what was going on, and here's what's different moving forward.
Okay, so before, I was just struggling a lot in life, personally, emotionally, spiritually. And once I signed up for the membership, which I think it's going to be almost a year, everything changed. I mean, for me personally, the biggest difference is that it changed the way that I feel. And that is huge for me because even though, you know, I'm still like working towards like so many things that I want to achieve in life and business, the way that I feel, like I have no doubt that it's manifesting. It's getting done just because I feel differently, just because of the having this every week. It's something that I look forward to. I just wouldn't be able to have the same mindset or function the way that I'm functioning now if I didn't have this once a week meeting
I
with
love that.
in the
How would you
community.
describe it before? Before you were doing it, it was here. Now it's here.
Um, the way that I was feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I was just feeling not motivated, depressed, just not looking forward to anything. And now I just wake up and I just feel so excited. And I look forward to these meetings and I'm more driven. I'm more driven.
And how is that impacting your business?
It's changing my business. It's changing
I
the
love
way
it.
that I communicate with people. It's just, it's great.
Give Yesenia some love. Awesome. So the team will drop the links. Manifestors Alliance is a place where there's a community. You come together every week. The second Thursday of every month, we just do a hands-on Q&A. You could bring your questions. You could bring areas in your life or your business that you would like coaching in. I bring in a faculty of amazing other expert special guests, and it's only $97 a month right now that you could lock yourself in on this amazing deal. You could cancel anytime. It's super high value packed. Okay. Let's see. Paul, you want to share anything about the membership? I'll just spontaneously do one final share. And Paul's been in the membership for a little over a year. You want to share
Hi,
a little
yes,
bit about? Yeah, how was
little
it
over a
before
year.
you joined the membership and then you joined, and what's changed? How's it been for you?
Well, in the past, I think I mean, I was doing okay with my business. It was fine, but I was kind of stagnant. Um, when I joined the Alliance, you know, you do these great themes every month, and it sort of fell in line with what I was thinking of as the vision for a rebrand in my luxury real estate business. And, you know, between the branding segment, the Ikigai, you know, all of the different pieces that we did, it was just right in line with what I was thinking. And I've paid much more for coaches before, but this has just been very productive and very timely for me.
I love that. Give Paul some love. Awesome. Thank you, Paul. It's always a joy to see you in there.
Thank
And you
you.
show up, play full out. So what I'll do also, because we've mentioned this a couple times, is whoever signs up for the membership right now, we're going to give you the replays of the Ikigai. So you have that. Okay. So we'll make sure we give you the replays of that because it will support you in manifesting your vision. Okay. All right, everybody. So we're getting ready to go into the VIP room in just a couple minutes. Here's the thing. I highly encourage you to join us in the VIP room. The VIP room is only $97. Here's what you're going to receive in the VIP room. The VIP room, we're going to be able to there's a lot of content in the main session. The VIP room, we're going to be able to open it up to Q&A. We're going to be able to connect more, have dialogue in a more intimate setting. In the VIP room, I'm also going to be able to guide you through visualizations and exercises that we didn't have time to do in the main session. So the main value and reason for going into the VIP is it's hands-on, it's transformative, and I'm guiding you through processes, not just teaching you information. Everybody gets there's a difference with that, right? I'm guiding you through processes, which is the way our advanced courses work. The team will drop the link in to join us for VIP. Okay. Here's what you get with the VIP. Carmen, if you can drop the VIP link just so I can share it with them. VIP starts in half an hour, yes. And then also, I want to make sure before I share with you about the VIP real quick, make sure you're all here on time and bring your friends for our amazing session tomorrow, because we have Michael Beckwith joining us tomorrow and we have all kinds of amazing things happening. So make sure you're here, and there's still time to invite your friends. So let me share with you what we've got for today. Here's the VIP. It is an immense stack of value for only $97. Okay, so in the VIP, the biggest value is right here, because we're going to go into this intimate setting where we're going to have coaching, Q&A, hands-on, guided experiences, laser coaching, guided visualizations and techniques, personalized Q&A, all of that is happening. So the VIP is 2 hours each day after the main session, and it starts in half an hour, okay? You're also going to get here, tell me if you can see this, when you go to the VIP, you also get this really awesome soul work book. Hang on one second. Can you guys see the soul workbook there or no? Or are you seeing still the, okay. So when you join VIP, you get this really beautiful soul workbook that you could apply that's guiding you through these teachings. And I put additional things in the soul workbook that we're not having time to cover just to support you with this. So you'll see as you go through the soul workbook of the VIPs, you'll have certain prompts and exercises. I showed you a few of them earlier about Ikigai. So you receive this with your VIP. Again, only $97. It's supporting the teaching. You can see a lot of the graphics correspond with the slides that we have. And some of these you could even do on your own, journaling, to enhance and support the process even more. Isn't that a great soul workbook? You get that. And then, let me see. And apologies, you guys. I'm having some technical difficulties here with my... Okay, final piece. Drum roll, okay. All right, so you also have an opportunity when you sign up for VIP, there's a 5-question questionnaire. I'll read it tonight if you're signing up for VIP now, to make sure you and I have an opportunity to connect. I'd love to hear how you personally would respond to these 5 questions. You also have access to all the replays, the integration workbook, and you get a training that is the Science of Achieving Big Goals digital training. This training itself is even worth more than the entire VIP investment. So that's what you receive. It's $97. And I highly encourage you, the team will drop the link. Join us in the VIP room and join us for Manifest Your Vision. It's only $97 for each of those. And they are the beginning. They're the first step on the hero's journey, okay? On the hero's journey towards manifesting your vision, these are the first steps. All right, everyone. So we're going to be spinning the wheel. Carmen, am I spinning the wheel today, or are those prizes for tomorrow? Spin the wheel. We should spin the wheel. Is that what we're doing? Okay, we're spinning the wheel. So every day of the challenge, we're going to spin the wheel of fortune. So somebody has an opportunity to win. The grand prize is Neogenesis, which is our signature course. Okay, we have it happening. It's a $5,000 course. It's happening in November virtually, and then it's happening in Cancun coming up soon. So we have SIA, which is another one of our signature courses. These are our 2 signature courses. They're $5,000 each, and somebody's going to get a chance to win, possibly, when they spin the wheel. And then we have products, and we have a month of the membership. Okay, so who'd like to spin the wheel? And then we have Niurka Bucks. Niurka Bucks is money that can go towards any multi-day course that we have. All right, let me see enthusiasm in your body with your cameras on so I can pick who is going to spin the wheel. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Let's do Diane. She's over there dancing. Diane Callahan. I got to say names. Diane Callahan. Okay, Diane, are you ready to spin the wheel? Let's see. There's up to a $5,000 prize here. You have $250 towards any of the multi-day offers we have. $250 for Diane. Give her some love. All right, everybody, how was our first day main session? Give me some feedback in the chats in 1 or 2 words. How was our first main session? Yeah. Yes, the VIP gets all the recordings. Yes, VIP gets the recordings of the main session and the VIP. Empowering, congrats. Excellent, absolutely great. All right, everyone, before we sign off, make sure to be here on time tomorrow. Who's got friends that you wish would have joined you today, but they didn't show up? Make sure to bring your friends so they join you as well, okay? And we will see you in 23 minutes in the VIP room. The team will drop the link one more time to make sure you join us. And then we will also see you tomorrow for a powerful day 2 of Manifest Your Vision. Unmute yourself and let's hear your beautiful voices from around the world.
Yay, Dankeschön.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yay.
Danke, Niurka.